It's time for Ask the Expert, your chance to learn something new every day. Let's find out who our expert is today.
The Bookworm, also known as Mrs. Fig's Bookworm, is a beloved, long-standing independent bookstore here in Camarillo. It's been a community staple since its founding in 1973. The Bookworm offers a curated selection of new books across various genres, including fiction, nonfiction, and a dedicated children's section. It is known for its knowledgeable and friendly staff, who often provide personalized recommendations. The Bookworm also hosts community events and has a focus on supporting local authors. Jen Wilhite, thank you for coming on Ask the Expert.
Thanks for having me. Happy to be here.
So you're the new top cheese here at the Bookworm. Is that a fact?
It's frightening but true. Yes, it is.
So I consider you being an expert on a lot of books here in your shop.
I am growing in my knowledge of all titles and all authors currently. I'm only about a year into owning the bookshop, so I've had a very big growing year. And the thing I've learned probably the most is that I'm always going to be learning when I own a bookshop, because there's always new material coming out. And there's always stuff to relearn with classics and, just amazing literature and since the history of time. So
now, I assume you have to be a book lover to own a bookstore. What made you decide to take over for the legacy of women who have owned this shop since the beginning, almost the beginning of Camarillo, a little later, but 1973? How many owners has there been, and what made you decide to take over?
So I'm the fifth woman owner. We've been open since 1973, like you said. Julie, the former owner who I purchased from, she was also a teacher, an elementary school teacher, and she was retiring. So she was looking to sell the bookshop, and someone needed to take it over. And my husband, admittedly, is a much more voracious reader than I am. He was an English major, and he really mulled over the thought of owning a bookshop with me and is very supportive. So with his support, I just kind of went for it, and it's sort of a leap of faith. I do enjoy reading. I feel like the one requirement in owning the bookshop that has made it successful is the ability to keep learning and to roll with change and to figure it out as you go. So I would say loving reading is definitely a help, but it's not mandatory to own the bookshop. You really just have to be willing to learn and to put in the long hours. You get a lot of reading done here, working here too, which is a really good thing. It's a plus. I love it. I love coming to work. And I find myself reading a lot more nowadays. And I tell myself it's for work, but it's really just, back to a good lifestyle of reading.
And it's great to see that a lot of the names of the people that come here. If you spend 5 or 10 minutes at the Bookworm, hi Doris, hi Mary, they just come in. You got a lot of regulars here. I'm sure they love the fact that the store's been here so long and it's in good hands. Tell me about small businesses, because we're going through something right now as a whole.
Yep.
And how does it affect the book industry?
So the book industry, I've learned a lot. I still have a lot to learn, but I've learned that if you are in it for the money, generally, you're not going to be very successful starting out, because books are expensive and there's not a lot of profit in them. But the emotional reward of owning the bookshop is astronomical. Like you said, there's a bunch of regulars that come in. I'd say 80% of the people that walk in, I know their names, and the other 20, I've seen them before, and I probably know them, but I don't remember their names necessarily yet. But over the next 30 years of me owning the bookshop, I will. Some of the regulars, I probably talk to them more than they talk to their own families. They're here every day. Some people have been stuck, like, my car got towed. Can I get a ride to the tow yard? Absolutely. This person needs a ride here. Can you take me to the airport? Sure, I'm off. There's a lot of community that happens in the bookstore. It's a community touch point. There's a lot of life that happens in here, and that's exactly why I bought the bookshop, because I wanted to keep it alive. It's been here since 73, and I think it's so important to keep in Camarillo. There's not a lot of independent bookstores around anymore. It's important that we preserve it and to keep it going.
We're talking with Jen Wilhite, owner of the Bookworm here in Camarillo, Mrs. Fig's Bookworm. I love how you kept, is that the original owner's name?
That is the third owner's name. The original owner was Wynne Nelson.
And her husband, they were British.
Yep, and her husband, they were British. They came and they opened it, and they opened it in Old Town on the Boulevard, kind of over by American Pie. And then Mary Lytell took it over, and she had the bookshop for a long time and was a phenomenal librarian and curator of books. She provided, all the kids at that time with all their school books, and she was just a real business savvy woman. And then Connie Halpern bought it from her, and Connie is who I know. She's a good friend. She really encouraged my kids to start reading when I started having kids. We brought them in here, and she really found them material that they liked reading and encouraged them, and she did story time almost every day, and she's just a lovely human, and she is Mrs. Fig. So when she bought the bookshop, she had kind of an epiphany, and she decided to call it Mrs. Fig's Bookworm because it's faith in God's steps, or faith in God's sacrifice, or it's a faith-based name.
An acronym.
It's an acronym, yeah. And so when I took over the bookshop, I kept that sign out there because I feel like it's just a good blessing to have over the bookshop. If you know Connie, you know that she is very supportive, even now when she comes into town, because she doesn't live here. She comes into town, she'll do story time, she visits, she walks in, and she automatically knows all the regulars too. Like, everybody still knows her, she's still around, even though she lives in another state, she's still involved. And then Julie, who bought from Connie, she's still around. She's retired as a teacher now, but she volunteers here on Fridays. She heads up a book club. All the past owners who are still alive are still involved, and it kind of speaks to like how wonderful the community is. It's definitely not just me carrying it. It's a whole team of people. I'm happy to have them as shepherds and helping me along the way.
Yeah, you can really feel the sense of community here, especially with, everybody still staying connected. Yep. I know you do a lot of events here in this space. I saw on your Instagram. What's your Instagram?
It's Camarillo Bookworm.
Mm-hmm. There's a bunch of stuff there that I noticed.
There is. So we do support local authors, definitely. I've met at least 200 of them in the past year, have come out of the woodwork to introduce themselves, and there's phenomenal work that I've read from these local authors. We try to do at least one local author signing a month. They can come, they can promote their book, they can sign, and they can talk to other people. And what I've decided to do, instead of having one author per day, because it gets a little congested if you have, like, say, 4 authors in 1 month every week, not everybody's able to come every week. So what I've decided to do is have a couple authors come on the same day, and we could do like a little author fair. Because if everybody just brings even their network of people, you're still meeting new people that are interested in writing and reading and, promoting their work. Next month will be a triple author signing, at least, probably a quadruple, and most of it is going to be kids authors, picture books. And I actually have one author who's a 10-year-old girl. She's amazing. She met a local author, got inspired to write her own book, and he encouraged her to do it. So she did. She went home, she put together like a business proposal with her mother, and she did all the footwork, all of it, to get this book published. She got an illustrator, she hired an illustrator, and I just got a copy of her new book that just rolled in. And she's going to be here next month with her new book. She's 10 years old.
And that's October, you said, right?
That's October 15th.
October 15th. Okay,
Yeah.
got to be here for that.
Yeah.
And there's things, you said weekly, or is it monthly?
We have different stuff. Depends on the month.
You got to keep following social media
yeah,
to keep track
yeah.
of it. Or just come by and ask.
Just come by. We've got signs for whatever events are going up. Follow us on social media, though. That's really our newsletter. If anything's going on, we try to throw it up there. Any shout outs, you can tag us. There are book events that if we're not in the shop doing an event, we are out in the field doing it. Next month, we are at Library and Literacy Day at the Ventura County Office of Education. In May, we've got another author event, Literacy Day, that we're going to have a book booth at. So if we're not doing events in the shop, we're out in the community doing stuff. We just hosted a book booth at Camarillo Pride. So we've got a lot of stuff going on. Follow us on social media. Everything will be there. All the information will be there.
Not only are you a brick and mortar, you're out in the community. We're talking with Jen Wilhite, the owner of the Bookworm, Mrs. Fig's Bookworm, the fifth owner. Okay, so now that you're a year in, what do you predict the next couple years will be for the Bookworm? What are your plans? Can you share some secrets?
I've got. If I'm dreaming really big, I'll have the Bookworm for the next 30 years. I'd love to have it long term. And if I'm dreaming really, really big, my big end goal would be to buy a building, pay it off, and then turn the Bookworm into a nonprofit and hand it to the next woman who's going to take it on. What I've found in learning in this industry is a lot of independent bookstores have gone under because the landlord pushes them out, or rent is too high, or whatever economic factors there are.
Thank you so much.
But if we buy a building and we own the building, we own the space, then we can really control that and we can operate the way we want to, and we don't have to answer to the man, basically.
Yeah, anything could change in like rent or
anything.
And if you have full control, then you can really make your dreams come true.
Yes.
With a bookstore.
This location we're at has been here since 2009, I want to say, but it's the third location. The first location was on the boulevard, and I was there for a very long time. It had a small stint at a second location. It was a bad location. And then when Mary sold it to Connie brought it here into the Las Posas Plaza. And I love this location. I don't want to move, but I would like to own my own space. So if I could buy that Taco Bell building right there and make that the Bookworm, that would be perfection.
I get it. Yep. You're very happy here, but your next move is having your name on the whole thing.
Established forever. That way we can kind of, get a little buffer, and that we're a little, we're safe and we're sound from anything really pushing us out.
And making it a nonprofit is a very good thing.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Because, if you're in it for the money, it's the wrong reason. You really got to be in it just for the community. That's the way it's going to really thrive and operate the way that we want. Yeah.
Okay, Jen Wilhite from the Bookworm. Before we go, I'm going to ask you some sales questions here. What is the community buying most of? Can you tell us about that?
Well, I've noticed all sorts of different genres. We did put up a new fantasy genre section the past year. That's been super successful. I found that fantasy readers are probably our most loyal, voracious readers that we have. And fantasy books that are rolling off the press right now are just beautiful. They're coming with all the sprayed edges, and they're just amazing, beautiful gifts. Everybody's been reading the book James by Percival Everett the past year. There have been a couple of really big sellers, Remarkably Bright Creatures, anything by Sarah J. Maas, anything by Taylor Jenkins Reid. A lot of the romancy stuff is a good seller. I've sold a lot of classics. A lot of people are going back to the classics, and they're buying new editions that are coming out of everything from,
Yeah, that Frankenstein book is gone, I see. That was a good looking one.
It was so good. Yeah, we have that one that's almost here for restock. I've sold that Frankenstein edition at least a dozen times in the past 2 months. I've got, people buying Crime and Punishment. I've got kids who are buying Dracula, and Wuthering Heights is coming out with a movie next year, and I don't know if everybody saw the trailer, but Wuthering Heights now I can't keep in stock, which is great, because I recommend for everybody, if there's a book before the movie, read the book before the movie, because the book's always better. Very rarely is the movie better. So it's a pretty safe bet that you want to read the book first.
And there's some helpful ways to read the book, too. I overheard something about some book clubs that you guys have going on here.
Yes.
What's that about?
We are looking to add more book clubs. So if anybody out there wants to host a book club at our space, contact us. We would love to host it for you. We provide the space, you provide the title, and we give a discount for a bulk order. So it's 20% off for 5 copies or more of the same title for a book club. But right now we have a fiction book club. They meet usually the second Friday of every month, 10:30 a.m. to 11:30-ish. And they choose the book every month. They kind of vote, and they take suggestions, and then whatever is readily available that everyone wants to read, they decide on that. Like I said, Julie, the former owner, heads up that book club, and she's amazing. She really knows her stuff because she's been doing it for so long. And then the second book club we have going is a sci-fi book club, and that's for the 9 to 5 folks. We specifically chose after 5 o'clock p.m. That way people who work can still make it. It's at 5:30, usually on a Wednesday, the first Wednesday of the month, 5:30 to say 6:30, but it's kind of a soft time for when we end. It's just whenever it organically ends and we're done hanging out, then we lock up. But I stay late, and I'm never in a rush to push people out. It's community, and we have a good time. Often for the morning book club, for the fiction book club, I'll go and I'll grab some bagels or some coffee for the girls, and it's fun. It's just really fun. Everyone enjoys each other's company, and they get to talk books. And you don't get that with Amazon. You don't really get that with Barnes & Noble. Talking books with people is a really good thing.
Keeping it local, you can feel the sense of community oozing out of the Bookworm. And thank you for keeping this going, Jen.
My honor. I love it. I love coming to work, and it's really just been wonderful. I'm excited for the next decade for me.
Jen Wilhite, owner of the Bookworm, thanks for coming on Ask the Expert today.
Thank you so much for having me. Appreciate you, Barry.